It's time for Casey Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice, and we're telling the stories of Kansas City nonprofits and the people behind them. Casey Cares is the intersection of the nonprofit and profit communities, making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. This Casey Cares segment is brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation, www.kauffman.org. I'm Ruth Baum-Biggest. With this show, we are celebrating our 600th episode focused on elevating the more than 10,000 nonprofit organizations in the greater Kansas City region and beyond. Thank you for your ongoing interest and support in raising awareness of the important work that goes on in the nonprofit sector. A shout out to my partner, Bobby Keys, for the great work he does behind the scenes to make things happen. Our guest today reflects the passion and commitment of nonprofits to make the world a better place. Ladies That Lean, led by our guest, Dr. LaTonya Goodloe, is committed to helping women who have been incarcerated return to life with the support they need. Dr. Goodloe speaks from experience. Incarcerated for 48 months, she moved forward, and we're grateful to have her as our guest today, sharing her story of resilience and how she makes a difference. Welcome to Casey Cares.
Thank you so much. My absolute pleasure. I love it.
Well, I think a great place to start is tell us about your journey. How did this start? Please feel free to share what you're comfortable in sharing.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us. First of all, from myself and from Ladies That Lean, it's an honor, and I'm so happy to be here. Ladies That Lean is my passion. Like you had mentioned from past experience, I had a pretty troubled past coming up as a youth and just got into gangs and the street life and a lot of things that led me on a fast-packed track to incarceration. And so as you mentioned, I landed incarcerated for 48 months and mandatory parole for 38 months. So that was a total of 7 years, total in the system. I learned a lot on the journey. I went through a lot on the journey. What's mainly want to be noted is that Ladies That Lean, the name, was born while I was incarcerated. Okay, I birthed the name. I had it in me, and I would say it, and a few other ladies, we said it, but it was never what it is today. We kind of thought, oh yeah, we do the same thing as men do. We're ladies that lean and things like that. And that took quite a few years to come to fruition. What it really is today, living excellently after negativity, is what the lean stands for. So that's in a summary of myself a little bit. I've recently been a co-author on a book and start sharing more about myself and my journey, Voices of Women Unleashed Injustice. And so I'll begin sharing more about my intimate walkthrough and how I actually got to hear Dr. Goodloe, a double doctorate at this point. I have a doctorate in leadership today. And so I used to be Inmate 76615, and here I am today, Dr. LaTonya Goodloe, very proudly. So thank you for having me.
Well, congratulations to you for making it through that time, a difficult time. I can't imagine. But I think it's so interesting that this came to you while you were in prison. Can you share a little bit more? I mean, that's amazing.
It is. Honestly, during that time, my background is in building maintenance. I'm a tradesman. I'm a painter by trade. I have a for-profit business, a commercial construction company. So I honestly, during all of that time, I was taking building maintenance and I was being a heathen. Let me mention that. So I wasn't like just being an awesome individual while I was incarcerated, but I was going through a transformation, and I don't know, the name just kept coming to me very loudly. And I thought it was so cute. Like I said, I just loved it. And, I thought, well, when I get out, I'm going to put this on a t-shirt. My mind was not in a healed space to understand what was being given to me, but the name never went away. And immediately when I came home, I started doing giving away hot dogs in the name of Ladies That Lean, activism. I had something at the Capitol in the name of Ladies That Lean. It just started. I went to Houston and gave away supplies during that flood. I was just like really floundering around trying to find what Ladies That Lean is supposed to be doing. But I just, as it grew, I knew it was supposed to be doing something to help people. It really took quite a few years for it to unravel. And for me, it was the journey, because what Ladies That Lean truly is everything that myself and one of my business partners, which is a beautiful story. I was incarcerated with her. And so here we are today, with the nonprofit organization reaching for those ladies like us. But it just kind of grew, it really just kind of grew. It stuck with us. We've done these things, and then, kind of came together with two other women who had the same passion. And here we are. But what we've done, I did want to mention, Ladies That Lean, what we've done is create a program out of the steps we've taken to get here. So those foundational steps, and really having the voice for true change and a attainable, sustainable reentry plan. Is kind of, so all the things we did along the way, we kind of took and grasped those things and created something in the program, to push others like us for relatable, because it's really, when people say, how'd you get here? Well, it's life, right? You have to do the real things. This is not some, woo, we're here, type of things. We actually went through a lot of healing, a lot of educating, a lot of shedding. And so I just want to make that known that it grew all the way. And then it's amazing how it stands now, that from prison to here, it's a bundle of information that we've learned and how we got here, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. I want to give the audience a little bit of a historic knowledge. We've talked about your years spent in incarceration and the journey out. So how long was it before you decided, okay, we have great ideas, but we need to make this a nonprofit? And then how did you go about doing that?
Absolutely. It took a long time. I was released from prison June 6, 2006. And Ladies That Lean became an actual 501c3 in 2021. And so it took that long. Now, it could have happened sooner, but we vowed and dedicated. We wanted to do all those phases on our own. So file for the nonprofit, learn how to do this, because we want to teach the next woman. We could have paid somebody, of course, but that leaves us without the information. And so from writing the entire program out to actually filing, working with the IRS, learning ups and downs, we did all that on our own. So we're very proud of that, because we really didn't know what we were doing. But to show you the historic from 2006, and we really feel like we've been doing great and doing things, but we feel like this year really founded us as a nonprofit. And what do I mean? We received our first grant that we wrote on our own, and so now we're actually starting a program that we have written and drawn out and created on our own. And so though we've done things and held things, we feel like this year we really have found our groove. We begin teaching soon the class that we created. As I said, we have a grant for it. So it's been some time of developing, and I feel like we're still going to be, because we're open. I like to remind everybody that we're still those ladies. I think that people see, the doctor or the this, and just think we don't deal with the PTSD, the repercussions, my children, my grandchildren. There's a lot of things I still deal with regarding incarceration. So you wake up and you battle today, and we learn more things today. And so what am I saying? The program continues to grow as we learn and continue to grow.
Well, congratulations to you for taking the step. It's not easy, as we've talked about on this program, to start a nonprofit. It takes lots of things. Passion is great, but, then when you got to put the pen to the paper and, move it forward. So you've received a grant for this year. So tell us what that grant is now going to enable you to do with Ladies That Lean.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. We have created an emotional intelligence arena. That's what we're calling it. It's a course, though, but it's the emotional intelligence arena, which is a 6-week course once a week, where we delve into everything emotional intelligence, your beliefs, your values, how you operate, the way you respond, really in depth. digging into this class requires you to cry, laugh, snot, and everything else. If you don't, you're not doing it right. And so we've been a while in the works getting this class together, really bringing our experiences along with, of course, medical information and just things that can truly change a woman's life. So that is what we got our grant for. The grant is for Wyandotte County for this particular grant, but we are on both sides of the water. And so we are looking for a space to teach that in KC Mo as well. But the grant, we feel like housing is wonderful. We feel like a job is wonderful. All of these things that you need when you come home and when you're doing in the system, the people that these first women that are in our class, they're currently on parole and probation. So, what we've learned and what we know to be true here at Ladies That Lean is that without emotional intelligence, you are failing from the beginning, right? Picking a job, just say picking the job that is right for you. Oh, I want to work at Amazon today, right? Can you get to Amazon? Where do your kids go to school? Are you going to ruin your chances of ever working at Amazon a long term? So for people coming home, whereas someone just looking may say, get them a job, get them a car. Emotional intelligence comes into play and allows you to make sustainable, attainable choices, right? Maybe I need to work at the dollar store first that I can walk to around the corner. Why? Because I don't want to ruin my reputation. And, these are just little things and I'm just making an example, but how emotional intelligence comes into making decisions. A lot of times people like myself make decisions off of trauma base and off of survival base, but it doesn't sustain you. And it ends real soon. And then here we are back at step one, or here they are back at the nonprofit door needing those resources again. So again, I think Ladies That Lean, and we want to work with other nonprofits as well, because what we want to do is help nonprofits make the best of your resources. Okay. And because helping someone is wonderful. It's wonderful. But if it's not attainable, sustainable, you're going to continue to pour out your resources and waste people's donations, waste what people are trying to do. And then the next person can't get help because we have this one person in a rat race cycle of I need this, I need that, because I don't have attainable, sustainable plan. And so we feel like emotional intelligence applies to everybody for one, but particularly women coming home so that they can make the right decisions, or women in the system, that you can make the right decisions that don't lead back to incarceration, but also lead to a career, a car that you can afford, housing that you can actually get your kids back and forth to school, all the things that, house, job, car. Oh, yay. Okay. So we find a lot of people back at stage one because we didn't think it through, the emotional part of it, the intelligent part of it. So there's a whole lot we're going to delve into with emotional intelligence, but for us, an actual lived experience, being able to emotionally, intelligently make decisions is how we got here. So.
That sounds very exciting. We're talking with Dr. LaTonya Goodloe. Ladies That Lean, let's chat about your partners. Tell us a little bit about the other women that you're doing this with.
Yes, thank you so much. Firstly, Dr. Smith and Dr. Vance are my partners. We all have a different thing that we bring to Ladies That Lean. Myself and Dr. Smith were incarcerated together. She did 7 years and 3 years parole as well. And so her and I have known each other for many years as well. And so it's beautiful to be here together. Dr. Vance, she brings a different aspect to it, as where she has dealt with family members being incarcerated, her husband being incarcerated. And so understanding that of being a loved one at home, having to take the kids to prison, having to deal with coming home and the issues that people face. So together we are a bundle of lived experience. And we bring, I lead and I speak for Ladies That Lean, but they will echo the things that I'm saying. We just do a few different things as far as hands-on.
Now, the program is just ramping up. How do women find you that have had this experience? How do you put it out there?
Sure. We are on Facebook. We are on TikTok, we have a website, and I also am boots on the ground, making connections with other nonprofits and things like that. We've made connections with parole and probation officers to get the word out to the right woman. And honestly, a part of that, we want to work with parole and probation officers as well as the client so that we can bring a full understanding to what's happening. So those are ways. Right now, we're really trying to reach for women who are in the system. And so we feel like if we loudspeaker ladies that lean in the system, which is how we are finding women for our emotional intelligence course too. We've been lucky that community corrections has sent us women, probation officers have sent us women, and we still have room for 7 more women to come in too. But yeah, it's been a lot of word of mouth, but voicing that to those organizations who have that particular client and can see Ladies That Lean as being a resource.
How many will be in the course? And once you get through this first one, what's the game plan?
Sure. Thank you. We are looking to take 10 to 12 women in the first course because we want to have an equal divide. A lot of the things will be going on will be we're requiring complete engagement. You can't, because we have told community corrections and everyone else will hand back an evaluation, not to smother the ladies or say anything bad, but to say, did you really grasp emotional intelligence, and were you here participating? And so we're hoping, that the ladies we spoke to are so excited. We're gonna learn so much from them as well. But what we plan to do is just keep this up. We want to teach this in the youth detention center. We next want to go to Topeka Correctional, where we were incarcerated, and begin to work with women who are 6 months to a year from release. Because this is something we feel like if we can get this down in their shanana before they come home, we can actually right away make good decisions and not have to learn this and then make good decisions. So a lot of what we want to do is grab women before they come home or before they exit the system so that they're empowered to make good decisions and to have emotional intelligence. And we have a lot of other different programs, but right now this is what we feel like we really want to start and hone in as we continue. I hope I answered your question.
You did.
Okay.
So you have the course, but you just mentioned that there are other things you do in the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we are working on our budding business fair. Part of what we do is because we've had personal experience. My children had to visit me, for 4 years straight incarcerated, and we have healed together, me and my children, but I had to really look it in the face of, the way that I affected their life and different things. And then I've also been able to see where I went wrong and what I should have done and how I could have affected their life differently. So we want to make an impact on the youth that are affected by the streets, and that, society is saying they're on their way to prison. They're on their way to prison. And grab those, because what's happening is that if we can create leaders in these young people early and allow them to understand, you can be a business owner, you can be this, you don't have to sell drugs, you don't have to do these things. See, nobody came and gave me those options. I thought owning a business was when I make enough money, I'm gonna, that was my mindset when I was out there in the streets. And so it's just, we were hoping to grab the youth from the urban core and those that are kind of headed in the wrong direction and give them something to hope for and dream for. So the budding business fair, stay tuned. We're going to be taking youth that are interested in becoming entrepreneurs, hosting budding business fairs for them. And we hope the community will come out and support them. We have been hosting Stop the Violence throughout the cities. We held one in Wyandotte. We held one in KC Mo, because again, that's part of what we're dealing with, right? Violence in our communities. We are going to back off a little bit from that and team up with some other organizations that are already robust in that and already do, because it's not about us. It's about, we really want to see change. And so instead of Ladies That Lean hosting those, we are looking for an organization to kind of team up with that already has the lead in that, and we will fall in line with our resources. Along with that, next year, we'll be having our first gala, if you want to call it. And so it'll be sneaks and skirts that we kind of.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because everything we want to be relatable to our clients, right?
Right.
We want them to still be able to be them. I have been lucky to be able to authentically show up as myself, because, hey, here I am. I'm, still developing, and yes, I got this education, and everything, but I show up as my authentic self. And that's how I truly have been able to heal. And so skirts and sneaks is kind of that, rough around the edges type of lady, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, like me, recuperating from living a street life. And so we thought that was cute, but we'll be having that yearly, along with other courses we are forming. We'll be coming out with, our next lineup after emotional intelligence. So we'll be doing a lot of teaching, as well as we are, and I'm sorry for that thing. I hope it dies real quick. My speaker in the back. Sorry, I tried to get everything you said done. But we are also teamed up with Pearls of Christ, which is where we went to school for our degrees. I've been in school for a long time. No, but Dr. Vance, which is one of the partners as well, she has a nonprofit, Pearls of Christ, which is in honor of her grandmother who was a domestic violence survivor. And so Pearls of Christ is aimed at supporting women that have been through domestic violence, but also anyone who wants an education. And so it's been amazing. I've been able to get an education the non-traditional way. And so we offer that as well when we don't just push it right away, because it wasn't something that I was, oh yeah, let me get in school and do all now, again, attainable, sustainable.
Right.
So, but that's something that we offer, and not because we feel like, oh, you got to be so smart and laced, but how it helped my self-esteem, right? How it helped me relabel, how it gave me a respect that people may not have just given me, because, and so for women like myself, we feel like it is a little bit important and remaking yourself to, have that education, have that DR in front of your name, the prison. Hey, I'm Dr. Goodloe. What can you say?
Right.
So part of living excellently after negativity is really changing that face of women incarcerated, right? And so that's the end game,
Changing that narrative.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I wanted to say. Absolutely.
And discovering your true self. So that's amazing. All right. You're doing all these things. You said you have a business, you have a nonprofit, you got kids, you got grandkids. Lucky you. How do you balance that? You're a nonprofit leader, but you have all this. We're looking for insight to share with others who are trying to do the same thing.
Sure. Okay, I got to be honest and say, I think I have overachiever syndrome a little bit now, coming from my background. I've just been trying to prove to myself a little bit, if you would, that, so I don't know if I suggest everything that I do, just one, because I deal with a lot of still mentally telling myself, you can do this, you got this, those low days, those feeling like, does anybody understand this? I got a nonprofit, a for-profit. People look at me like I'm crazy. People have also tried to tell me, nope, just focus on your profit. Ladies That Lean is like I said, it was born in prison. It's something that just can't, it's not like, oh, I want to do Ladies That Lean. And yeah, it really is something that my purpose, right? But I have to make money. and my background is in commercial construction. So how I have been able to bring all those things together is, for me and Ladies That Lean, as well as the office work, which I set aside Thursdays only for Ladies That Lean, and Tuesdays are now becoming Ladies That Lean half a day, which in business, I'm able to write those days off that I donate, because I do not get paid for Ladies That Lean right now. So it works out for LRG. But also what I've brought to the table, which I should have mentioned earlier, is I teach women affected by incarceration the trade of commercial painting. And so I have graduated 3 women to date on a project of painting. So they were actually able to come in, work, learn from the bottom to the top. And the goal is to get them ready to be able to get into a career that will change their life. I was able to remake myself in commercial construction. There was little judgment zone there. Everybody's rough around the collar there. And as I said, I went to school for building maintenance while I was incarcerated. So along the journey, I've understood the power of construction, right? The power of, wow, I have truly been able to from a painter to building maintenance to project managing to superintending to owning a business, right? And through the whole thing, it was like where I was supposed to be. And so I'm very passionate. My husband is a master carpenter. We are just married a year, and my life has just all roads led to construction. Okay. And so I've been able, but I feel like what's loud and blaring is also pointing women to this space, not just for a tradesman, but there's so many positions in construction. We don't have as much excitement about it in the urban core that it needs to be when people are looking for a job or remake yourself. I don't think people understand how much tradesmen make. They just look at it like, oh, that's a blue collar job. But there's so much money to be made in commercial construction that I really I own a business now, but from even the jobs and all the jobs I've ever had just paid very well in construction. And so I bring it together by teaching the trade. I'm still developing that as well. For future, of course, I want to have an all women's paint crew, but I also want to offer these women that have completed the course to construction companies, IEJ, Dunn, Turner, Burns and McDonald's, all the construction companies that I admire, but that we all resound the same thing. We need tradesmen. We need people who care about construction and want to build America. And so myself and my husband, that's how we kind of intersected. Is my big portion there, along with teaching and developing emotional, but is to raise awareness about construction. And so as far as the job training and things like that, I kind of going to gear you towards if this is what you want. My Talisha, Dr. Smith, she owns a lawn manicuring business. So as well, if you're interested, that's a good pathway to remaking your life, little judgment zone, and so we train in that, teach that. People say, oh, I know how to cut grass. Yeah, without cutting your fingers off and doing a really good job. And, so this is all on a commercial level that we teach. And so that's how we've both been kind of able to bring it together. Right now, I'm working on certifications, woman-owned certification for city, state, and federal level. That's going to drastically change the game for my for-profit business. But of course, ladies, LRG, which is my business, LRG Commercial Construction, we are honored and part of our dream and what we know is we're going to support ladies that lean in the vision. So when we wrote this vision, we didn't all the way see just people giving us money. We didn't see that. We seen ourselves being able to actually fund this by way of the businesses and things that we have. So I'm in a $1 billion industry, construction, and I just know that I'll be able to affect ladies that lean positively that way.
How can the community engage with you? Do you need volunteers? And where do we send them to find out all the information?
Yes, thank you so much. We do. Again, we need all experts. Again, it's not about us. We're still learning. We want to team up with anyone who has ideas in this space, or even come and teach these things to your staff, your clients. Even for-profit businesses need this. I'm be honest. Like a lot of employees need emotional intelligence to make good decisions. But you can reach us on Facebook. You can, Ladies That Lean on Facebook, Ladies That Lean website. I'm always around, LaTonya at ladiesthatlean.org. Please reach out. My phone number is pretty much out there because I have a business and all this stuff. I don't want to. I'm like, I need another phone. But anyway, I'm out here. I'm easy to reach. Dr. LaTonya Goodloe on Facebook as well. Thrive with Dr. Goodloe. So I'm a brand of my own. You can find us. If you want to see the more lighthearted side of us, go find us on TikTok. We're having some good traction over there and just being relatable to people, the dances and all those things, which we really love.
Right.
We can be lighthearted, it's not, so, but yeah, you can find us on all social media platforms. And hopefully you just find us when you Google Ladies That Lead. I hope our SEO is doing good. But yeah.
Well, you're doing amazing work, and we congratulate you on that. You know, just everybody check out ladiesthatlean.org, right?
Yes.
And we thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And I wanted to say we also own the domain ladiesthatlean.com. So either one will get you to us.
Terrific. Thank you for joining us for Casey Cares. We're Kansas City's nonprofit voice, and we're produced by Charitable Communications, which is also a nonprofit. This Casey Cares segment was brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. If you'd like to be a guest on Casey Cares or underwriting opportunities to support our work, please visit our website, which is kccaresonline.org. Spread the love. You'll find us on Facebook and Twitter at Casey Cares Radio and on Instagram at Casey Cares Online. And don't forget, you can catch us Saturday mornings on ESPN 1510 AM and 94.5 FM. That's at 8 a.m. Thank you for joining us on Casey Cares.